U.S. lawmakers call on UK's ex-Prince Andrew to testify over Epstein's call to testify from U.S. lawmakers came a day after King Charles formally stripped his younger brother of his royal titles. United States lawmakers have written to Andrew, Britain's disgraced former prince, requesting Thatha sit for a formal interview about his friendship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, a day after King Charles III formally stripped his younger brother of his royal titles. Separately, a secluded desert ranch where Epstein once entertained guests is coming under renewed scrutiny in the U.S. state of New Mexico, with two state legislators proposing a truth commission to uncover the full extent of the financier's crimes there. On Thursday, 16 Democratic Party members of Congress signed a letter addressed to Mr. Mountbatten Windsor, as Andrew is now publicly known, to participate in a transcribed interview with the U.S. House of Representatives Oversight Committee's investigation into Epstein. The committee is seeking to uncover the identities of Mr. Epstein's co-conspirators and enablers and to understand the full extent of his criminal operations. The letter read, "Well-documented allegations against you, along with your long-standing friendship with Mr. Epstein, indicate that you may possess knowledge of his activities relevant to our investigation," it added. The letter asked Andrew to respond by November 20. The U.S. Congress has no power to compel testimony from foreigners, making it unlikely Andrew will give evidence. The letter will be another unwelcome development for the disgraced former prince after a turbulent few weeks. On October 30, Buckingham Palace said King Charles had initiated a formal process to revoke Andrew's royal status after weeks of pressure to act over his relationship with Epstein, who took his own life in prison in 2019 while facing sex trafficking charges. The rare move to strip a British prince or princess of their title, last taken in 1919 after Prince Ernest Augustus sided with Germany during World War I, also meant that Andrew was evicted from his lavish Royal Lodge mansion in Windsor and moved into private accommodation. King Charles formally made the changes with an announcement published on Wednesday in the Gazette, the United Kingdom's official public record, saying Andrew shall no longer be entitled to hold and enjoy the style, title or attribute of Royal Highness, and the titular dignity of Prince. Andrew surrendered his use of the title Duke of York earlier in October following new abuse allegations from his accuser, Virginia Roberts Giuffre, in her posthumous memoir, which hit shelves last month. The Democrat lawmakers referenced Giuffre's memoir in their letter, specifically claims that she feared retaliation if she made allegations against Andrew, and that he had asked his personal protection officer to dig up dirt on his accuser for a smear campaign in 2011. This fear of retaliation has been a persistent obstacle to many of those who were victimized in their fight for justice, the letter said. In addition to Mr. Epstein's crimes, we are investigating any such efforts to silence, intimidate, or threaten victims. Giuffre, who alleges that Epstein trafficked her to have sex with Andrew on 3 occasions, twice when she was just 17, took her own life in Australia in April. In 2022, Andrew paid Giuffre a multi-million-pound settlement to resolve a civil lawsuit she had leveled against him. Andrew denied the allegations, and he has not been charged with any crime. On Thursday, Democratic lawmakers also turned the spotlight on Zorro Ranch, proposing to the House of Representatives Courts, Corrections and Justice Interim Committee that a commission be created to investigate alleged crimes against young girls at the New Mexico property, which Epstein purchased in 1993. State Representative Andrea Romero said several survivors of Epstein's abuse have signal-led that sex trafficking activity extended to the secluded desert ranch with a hilltop mansion and private runway in Stanley, about 56 kilometers, 35 miles, south of the state capital, Santa Fe. This commission will specifically seek the truth about what officials knew, how crimes were unreported or reported, and how the state can ensure that this essentially never happens again, Romero told a panel of legislators. There's no complete record of what occurred, she said. Representative Mariana Anaya, presenting to the committee alongside Romero, said state authorities missed several opportunities over decades to stop Epstein. Even after all these years, there are still questions of New Mexico's role as a state, our roles in terms of oversight and accountability for the survivors who are harmed, she said. New Mexico laws allowed Epstein to avoid registering locally as a sex offender long after he was required to register in Florida, where he was convicted of soliciting a minor for prostitution in 2008. Republican Representative Andrea Reeves said she believed New Mexicans have a right to know what happened at this ranch, and she didn't feel the commission was going to be a big political thing. To move forward, approval will be needed from the state house when the legislature convenes in January.